Superman is a decent first step for the DCU. It is a fine film, and overall, I think it is a okay step for a first movie to set up a cinematic universe. Now, was it amazing? It didn't really blow me away, but I had fun with it at least. The film has amazing production value. Some CGI bits look a bit too cartoony, but I was okay with it. There are some shots where I thought it was pretty damn good and I was very impressed by it. But then there are some where I'm just sort of like, it's a bit too cartoony, but overall I'm pretty okay with it. And I think that's the main thing with this film. Superman is essentially a live-action cartoon, for better or for worse. And a lot of people say this is very much like a Justice League Unlimited episode. And yeah, I can kind of buy it, considering how, well, you got a lot of these, well, B or C list superheroes part of this movie. Whereas when you get the original Justice League cartoon, the first iteration, it was very much the core members. But in this one, it is very much like the expanded ensemble, so I can totally understand that. So what I found a bit refreshing with this film was, instead of showing Krypton blowing up, Clark coming to Earth and then being raised and all that, and we get the usual origin thing, I think it was pretty cool that we start off in the middle of this adventure. It's very much like a bam, we are straight in the middle of the action, and I kind of like that. We do touch on Clark's and Superman's backstory in regards to his father and mother, but that storyline is very, well, it's gonna be controversial to some Superman fans.
No matter what you do to me, Luthor, your plans won't work.
Anyway, like all Superman films, or at least the cartoons, Lex Luthor is trying to bring down Superman, whether it be through physical means or through societal means, where he tries to manipulate the people into hating Superman. Meanwhile, two countries are at war with each other, while one nation, who is far technologically superior, is trying to wipe out the other and, well, take control of this other country, even though there's a ceasefire and there's like a border sort of thing. And Superman is in hot water because he stopped the first attempt, but this second attempt, because of all this chaotic nature that Lex is trying to do towards Superman, he is currently not in the right state of mind and is stepping away from superhero activities. And the reason why he's stepping away from the activities is because that he finds out more about his Kryptonian heritage and essentially is having a crisis of identity. Meanwhile, the Justice Gang is here to, well, help Superman and be there. I don't know, this Justice Gang kind of felt tacked on, although I think Mr. Terrific was a giant highlight of this movie, and I really want him to get his own movie or series. I think he is definitely my favorite part of this movie. But yeah, that's pretty much the basic premise, in that Superman is trying to find himself since it's his early days, and Lex is, well, Lex and trying to destroy him. Crypto's cute also, he's here in the movie, you know, standard stuff.
Where's the dog?
So I really like Lois and Clark's relationship in this movie. They've already gone through the whole secret identity thing, and Superman is now dating Lois. But the thing is, though, is that we barely get enough Clark Kent in this, and I kind of wanted more of his alter ego personality. We got the Clark at home and the Kal-El sort of personality, Superman side, but we didn't get Clark Kent in this, and I wish we got a bit more of that, and we got more of the classic Lois and Clark sort of dynamic at the Daily Planet. David Cornsweet is a really good Superman. I don't think he's as good as Christopher Reeves. He is my favorite Superman of all time. That being said, I think he does a really good job with the material he is in, and there are parts where I was like, damn, he really does sell it, and he really is Superman in my eyes. Holt was a really good Lex Luthor. Now, I don't think he is as good as previous incarnations, but he is better than Jesse Eisenberg's interpretation. But Nicholas Hoult does give Lex Luthor a sort of intimidating nature to him, where towards the end of it, he's just sort of laying it on thick with Superman, and I am really enjoying that, and I wish we got more of that. He was fantastic, and I think he does bring an intimidating element to this film, and I feel like if we got more darker moments with him, it would have been even better, because I think he's a great actor, and I thought he was good in this.
Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
Again, I touched on this before, but I really like Mr. Terrific, and there is one action sequence where I really enjoyed it, and it's towards in the middle of the film, and it's just him and Lois, and the action sequence is my favorite action sequence in the film. There is a moment later on where after they, save Superman from being captured from the cube thing you see in the trailer, and there's a moment where Superman is having a moment with Pa Kent, and, that scene where it's playing in earnest without any jokes is a really fantastic scene, and I wish we got more of it. And yeah, that's negative. The humor in this is very hit or miss, and I'll touch on that a little later. Now, I am not sure about if we needed every single Daily Planet co-worker. Now, I feel like Cat Grant, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Perry White, I feel like they're already good choices, and those four, if you just honed in on them, it would have been good. But then you added this other character, this sports guy, and maybe if there was an arc to him or an arc to Superman that interconnected with him, then sure, he's justified. But in this, he just sort of feels like he's kind of just there, and I don't know, he feels like he's just sort of broadening out the Daily Planet sort of unit, as it were. I also like that Jimmy has his own story instead of being shot in the desert. And, for some reason, dude has like ultimate riz for some reason. I mean, good on you, Jimmy. Great job, kid. But I will give props that this film does have a sense of color and vibrancy to it that I feel like has been lost in some cases to some superhero movies where they try and go the dark, gritty route. When I feel like you have to contrast that with the light sort of tone. And I feel like Superman does a really good job of bringing back the colorful vibrancy and really sells that Metropolis is this sort of lovely, high-level sort of place you aspire to go to and all.
Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Now, Lex's scheme, in my eyes, when it's fully revealed, is a little underwhelming. It feels very much like using plot lines from previous on-screen iterations, which isn't a bad thing, but it does make me feel like I've seen this before. Why aren't we doing anything new or adapting stuff from the comics? And that is a bit of a shame, because it definitely reuses elements from the original Superman, Superman Returns in some aspects, and Superman 4, which, I'm not gonna lie, that last one, Superman 4, that bit just sort of like, oh, we're really doing this. And I'm not gonna spoil it. Some people probably already know what it is, but good God, when I found out, I was like, what? And it was in the last third where I feel like the film sort of teetered out towards me. I was really with it for probably the first 2/3, but then the last third I was just sort of like, I'm not really feeling it. Now, jokes. So, the jokes do interrupt a lot of serious moments in this film. It's a classic James Gunn staple. And if you like that in his previous films, then I think you will definitely enjoy the humor in this. To me, the best moment in this film was where Superman is talking to his, human father, Pa Kent. And it is just a beautiful moment between those two people. And honestly, there is no jokes interrupting it, and it's my favorite moment. There are moments in this film where I feel like, had they taken it a tidbit more seriously, and they just let the seriousness play out, it would have been great. Now, I will say this. Some of the humor, it got a chuckle out of me. But it does have that sort of MCU-esque humor to it. And if you do not like that, then you might not enjoy this film. And that's kind of a shame. But if you liked James Gunn's previous adventures, chances are you will like this film. And I stand by that. I do think there is one bit where I feel like we didn't need a joke. And that is towards the end, where Lex is confronting Superman, or Superman is confronting Lex. And I feel like if we had played that out a bit more and a bit more seriously, the film could have ended on a poignant note, and it would have sealed in the fact that, yeah, Lex could have been this great guy, but Superman is his obsession, and it would have been a really good note to end on. But it does end with a sort of humorous note, and if you are cool with it, then yeah, I feel like you might get a lot more out of this movie, because a lot of moments in this are negated by jokes, especially one sequence a bit towards the middle where Superman is captured and Lex is kind of interrogating him. And I feel as though that if we had taken that just a smidge more seriously, it would have sold on the fact that Lex is dangerous instead of ending it with a quip. Yeah, and let's not beat around the bush. Crypto.
You have a dog?
Now, I knew he was going to be a major focus of the film. And yeah, in some aspects, I thought his inclusion was good. In others, I thought it wasn't really needed. And there are some moments in this where I feel like had Crypto not been in it and it was just Superman, I feel like the movie kind of would have improved, taking Superman a bit more seriously. And Superman is sort of underpowered in this movie. He's very much, when in terms of on-screen interpretations, he's probably the weakest. Like, the only other weakest interpretation was in the first season of Justice League, where he gets destroyed every episode or so, but where he gets shot and all that. But then they drastically fixed that in season 2 of Justice League. And I feel like we need that for this Superman. I feel like in the next movie, or the next time we see Superman, we need to see him be that all-powerful guy, considering how the film has an opening text sequence and it declares that Superman is the most powerful metahuman, and in some aspects it does prove it, and in some other aspects it's just sort of not the case.
They chose him, let them die.
Now, besides Lex, we also have the superpowered villains for this movie, which is the Engineer and Ultraman. And, you know, they're fine, I guess. I mean, they're fine things for Superman to hit and punch. But overall, they really lack depth. And maybe this is just sort of like, oh, we're introducing them, but next time in The Authority, we will get to the meat of and bones of these characters. But in this movie, they just sort of felt like sort of tacked on just so that Superman can punch something. Weirdly enough, I think this movie needed more time. Like, this movie is about 2 hours long, which I think is a really good time that most films should aspire to be. But I feel like this movie needed some more time. Like, it needed more scenes to drag out just a smidge, for scenes to breathe and let the scenes go forth. And maybe cut down on a bit of jokes and add it a bit more seriously, but overall, this film needed more time. And yeah, I think that's the thing that I come away with this, is that I think it's a fine 2-hour romp to lose yourself in for a couple of hours, but if it was just an extra half an hour long, an extra 15 minutes longer, I feel like this film would have been a bit better.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Overall, I think I like this film. It has a lot of fun moments and will be an audience pleaser, but I don't think it has resonated with me as much as I would have hoped, and that's a bit of a shame, because Superman is my favorite superhero. He is my favorite superhero of all time. I think he's got such a level of things to aspire to be, but he's also relatable and he can be very grounded. I love all his interpretations. Even Henry Cavill, where I feel like he had a lot of missed opportunities with his sort of trilogy, with Zack Snyder's trilogy, but I love pretty much all on-screen interpretations of the character, and I'm a sucker for Superman Returns. I know a lot of people think that movie is boring and not a lot of people like it, but Returns has always been a favorite of mine. So I am a bit sad that coming out of this movie, I was just sort of kind of lukewarm with it. But, I think I like this movie more than Man of Steel. So there is some light to that, at least. I think this was a better launch to a universe than the previous iteration with the DCEU. And this has me curious. It has me curious for the rest of the DCU and beyond. And I think that I am optimistic for James Gunn's cinematic universe. Now, will all films be this level? I hope not. I hope they surpass this movie. This is a good stepping stone. This is like the pilot to a TV show. And I feel like each episode after this, or each movie, TV show, whatever you want to say, I hope they build on Superman and make this world more breathable and a lot more characters and vast sort of tones and shifts, and I want that in this universe.
Superman.
So, with Superman, I give this... I was going to initially say 4 out of 10 beers. And the reason why is because I thought it was just sort of like above average. But the more I meld over it, I'm going to... This may be me being generous and me being a Superman fan. But I'm giving it 3 out of 10 beers. I thought it was an entertaining romp. And I wouldn't mind seeing this again. Now, will my opinion of this film decrease or increase? Who knows? But thank you all for watching the video. And I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on Superman? Did you like this movie? Did you enjoy the goofier sort of campy tone? Or do you prefer a bit more of a darker, more serious approach to Superman? And I feel as though you need to have a middle ground where maybe the situations around him are comedic, but Superman himself is taken seriously. And for me, I feel like the Christopher Reeves is still holy ground, and even though there are goofy moments in it, Superman not once felt like he was the joke in that sense. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps with the channel and keeps me going. I know it's been a while since my last video and my last live stream, but honestly it's been really busy and I just haven't had the motivation to make a video. But this movie, I wanted to get my thoughts out there because Superman is my favorite superhero of all time. And that's why I'm making this video. But as always, everyone, I want you to take care and have a good one.